Hello, everyone. Thank you for meeting us back here with Meet the Breeder. Today, we are meeting with Jennifer and Jake Johnson from the Johnson Family Farmstead. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Where exactly are you guys located at?
We are in the Pacific Northwest, about 30 minutes outside of Portland, Oregon.
So you said you're snowy too up there right now, huh?
Yeah, this week we're having some snow. We don't usually get a lot of snow, but this week we're getting a little snowy.
Have you started kidding yet?
We have one doe that has kidded with a single buckling. And fun fact on our farm is actually we've never had a doeling born on our farm yet.
How long have you been breeding Nigerians?
This is only our second year.
Okay.
Last year we just bred two does, our very first does, and they both had twin bucklings. And this year we have 4 bred, and our first doe had a single buckling. So we still have not had a doeling born on our farm yet.
So were you into any type of livestock before you specifically got into Nigerians, or are goats brand new to you? Okay.
We have had horses for 10 years, over 10 years. I used to ride and show dressage for many years, so horse shows and stuff like that. We've had our farm for about 3 years now. We had our horses here for about a year. Our property is a bit small to hold horses, so we ended up taking the horses off the property and back at a boarding barn. And that's when we kind of got into the goats, because our property is more suited for smaller livestock. So we got the goats, and then we just dove into the world of showing, because I love to show horses, and the goat showing is kind of similar. And then we started milking and getting into that, and we started doing milk testing. We're really excited to do a linear appraisal when that comes back, and more shows.
A lot of the people I've spoken with, they like the idea that it's kind of a family affair. Everybody kind of has a little different angle of what they like about it. Some people are more into the kidding. Some kids like the showing more. And there's a little something for everybody. And I think that's why the breed's so appealing.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the shows, getting together with other goat friends and camping out, and it's a great time. So we really like it.
Yeah.
So when you were going to pick out your first goats, how did you know where to begin?
We had not a clue really anything about goats when we first started. I really wish I knew then what I know now, but I just started Googling farms in Oregon, and I found the first one I found was the Folia Farms, and she's really well known and has books, and she makes cheeses and all of that. And she was a bit far away from us, so I looked for someone who had the Folia Farm lines, and that's when we found Quail Hollow is where we first got our first 2 goats. We didn't know anything. We didn't even look at the udders of the moms. We didn't look at the lineage. We didn't look at anything. We just kind of got 2 does and brought them home. And luckily they turned out, they're pretty good goats. I don't have any really good confirmation shots of our goats yet, but we just have Fern, who earned her Milk Star this last season, and she is due here in a couple weeks with our first babies from Braun, who we got from Blue Cactus Dairy Goats. Crystal over there, we worked with her and got a buck out of May, her doe. So we were really excited about that. So these will be his first kids. We bred him to Fern, Gertie, and Mavis, which are the top 3 does on the page there. And then the one who just kidded is a little further down, and that is Pippi, who had the single buckling. And that is our other buck, Alma Acres, smoking hot. And those are the only 2 bucks we have currently.
So when you first started, you bought your couple does.
Yep.
Did you wait to see what your does needed before you bought a buck? Or did you ask for suggestions from the breeders? Or how did you go about choosing who you wanted to bring in as sires?
So they were first fresheners, so we needed to get a buck to get them bred. So we were working with our Serenity farm. She mentors us a lot, and that's where we got Mavis. So we had a reservation through Alma Acres for a buckling, and then we saw Smokey come available from another breeder that we know. So we ended up just purchasing him because he was coming out of the same doe that we had a reservation on. So we were excited about his lines. So we ended up just purchasing him, bringing him home, and breeding him to our first 2 does. So once we got a look at their udders, and knew more about goats in general and conformation and things we needed to improve on, that's when we looked into Braun and got him. He's a young buck, so he doesn't have any kids on the ground like Smokey has, quite a few kids and is kind of more of a proven buck. But we are just kind of still learning. So we are doing the best we can with what we know and the advice we've gotten. Our first kidding, we had a couple people that we were messaging through the whole thing because it was, a new experience for us, but we made it through and everything went smooth. So yeah, the kidding part is the most scary part, I guess you could say, being new to goats for us.
Our lifeline, we used our lifeline a couple times.
Yeah. It's really scary.
You just don't have that confidence, like, are they in labor? Are they struggling? Is this normal? I think until you get a couple kiddings under your belt, you really don't even know what normal looks like. And then of course it's like women, every doe is different. So
Yeah,
because one kid's one way, the other one might be totally different.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we are big researchers. We've researched a ton of stuff. We research everything, especially Jake. He researches everything and builds everything. And ton of YouTube videos. We have always been into YouTube. That's why we started our own channel. We just learned a ton from everyone on there just sharing. It's so great that there are some people on there that really can show you how to do things.
And what is your channel?
Same name, Johnson Family Farmstead. We have quite a few videos. We are new to goats, so we're not really trying to teach people what we're doing, but just showing what we're learning along the way is.
And sharing, I
think,
yeah, that's the biggest thing that we've found in the goat community is people are just willing to share information and just, be kind and help each other. I mean, especially at shows, it's just really good. It's a really good group of people.
Even at the shows, obviously everyone, is there because they're competitive and they want to do well. But a lot of people are just there to hang out with their people. They want to meet other breeders. They want to have fun with their animals. Winning's great, but not at the cost of the relationships that you're making along the way. And I do feel like that is a really special thing in the goat world, especially the Nigerians. From what I've seen, I don't know a lot of standard size goat breeders, but I'm assuming, a similar thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so much information to learn, with the genetics and the registry and just looking at different qualities and linear appraisal scores. And unfortunately, we didn't get to participate in a linear appraisal last year, but hopefully we're looking forward to having one this year and kind of seeing where we really stand, and looking at all of the numbers. And I find that just really interesting that you can look at those scores and find a buck and
we have quite a few reservations out there this year. So we are bringing in a lot of new bloodlines that, will help us.
Yeah. What are your goals for your herd for this year? Are there certain things you're looking to improve? Is it milk production, more conformation issues?
We are focusing on improving teat placement and rear udder attachment is what we noticed on our first 2 goats. So that's really what we're focusing on. We want to be at the national show someday. So that's our plan.
So I see your goat milk soap page.
Yeah, we've gotten into goat milk soap. And
tell me about that.
We just started making the soap. It took us about 6 batches to really get some good soaps.
Maybe a little more. It might have been a little more than 6.
6 or 7 batches.
I hear you.
But some things, you know, we're learning as we make soap, like that honey lavender bar right there that's gray, that was supposed to be purple. Just the way the fragrance oils work sometimes and the colors really change things. But our friends and family love the soap and they purchase it, and it's been fun making it.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
We had a YouTube friend send us some soap that she makes, and I've tried goat's milk soap years past, but I never really gave it a shot. And this time, you know, as I've gotten older, I've had some skin problems, you know, on my face. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to really give this a shot. And I used it, you know, pretty consistently. And I was amazed at the benefits, and I just kind of got hooked. And so we figured out how to make it. And, you know, again, with that research and playing around with the different recipes and
YouTube videos again.
YouTube videos. It's really interesting to be able to create something and test it, you know, and make sure you can see how it works and how it feels. And so that is really fun for us too. We really like making soap. It's really fun.
Do you use the milk for anything else, or is it primarily for your kids and for the soap making?
We made some cheese last year, and we haven't had a lot of milk yet because we've only had a couple doughs at a time. But I would love to make hard cheeses and lots more cheese. And we just got a pasteurizer, so we're gonna pasteurize some for drinking. We don't drink the milk raw. I know a lot of people do, but we do not. So we got the pasteurizer, and we're gonna pasteurize for drinking more cheese and more soaps.
Any advice for people who are looking to get into Nigerians or have started showing or want to start showing?
My advice for that, which I wish we had done, is to really attend the shows first and really look at the goats and the breeders, and really look at the lines that you want to get into, and do that before you go out and first just pick a goat like we did. But yeah, you have to start somewhere though. So it's kind of a learning experience no matter what you do. You
got to start somewhere, but obviously the better starting point you have, you know, especially if that person happens to come with the mentorship, you get a lot for your money if you buy goats from a breeder that's willing to help you out those first couple years. If you're doing it right, your kid crop should be a heck of a lot better than your 5-year-old does. I mean, you should be years ahead in your breeding program. And really, if you want to keep moving forward, you're going to have to move some does out.
You know, or after our first year, when we put all boys out, it was kind of looked back, and that it was almost like a year lost. You know, I mean, it was almost
we don't get to see any improvement,
right? You know, and so it kind of gave you a realization of how long it really takes to improve, to get somewhere.
And to see what improvements you got. I mean, everybody says with the first freshener, that udder is going to look totally different, most likely year 2 and maybe even year 3 or 4. Production wise, I've had does double from their first freshening to their second. I have one doe line that just seems to keep getting better and better and better. And I have other ones that are fairly inconsistent. So I put a lot of eggs in that basket of that doe line. I'm always looking to learn, and you can learn from anybody, whether you're brand new to this or you've been doing this for 50 years. And I hope people aren't shying away from wanting to do the videos because they don't feel like they have this national level herd or something. Every one of these I've done, I've gotten something new out of it, whether it's different parts of the country or different products people are using or different bloodlines they're working with. There's so many people that are doing Nigerians that I feel like anybody can learn something from somebody else. And I think that's been the appeal of these videos, is whatever level you're operating at, you have something to bring to the table. And it's just neat to communicate with these other breeders and share the enthusiasm for what we're all doing. Thank you so much for joining. Like I said, it's been really fun to have somebody on here that's kind of newer to the breed, because you guys have a totally different perspective and a different, you know, you're coming in from a little different angle. And I think that's neat too, because everybody's kind of on their own path. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, thanks for having us. It was really fun to do the interview.
Yep.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.